The Orville, Season 2, Episode 5. All the world is birthday cake.
Cake.
Well, that's a heck of a way to have a birthday.
Yeah, never. See, this is why I never tell anybody my birthday. They'll lock me up for being a psychopath.
I'm pretty sure you're not a psychopath. I hope.
Kind of a little bit. Although, that actually is a thing. The fact that certain people are born, there are more psychopaths born in certain months.
Yeah, okay.
November is statistically the highest proportion of psychopaths, mass murderers, and serial killers than any other month, followed closely by December and January.
Well, I was born late spring, so I am just fine.
I was born in summer, and I'm still a psychopath. That's not to say they don't exist, but there are, I think the stat was 12 mass murderers and serial killers to every 9 for the rest of the year.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is something to that. I guess Gilliacs are Scorpios.
I guess.
Yeah, Scorpio is the one that's October into November, right? It's most of November.
I have no idea. I couldn't care less.
But yeah. So there is something to that a little bit.
But not to not to the extent of the.
Oh no, not to
they
the
take
extent
it.
that you concentration camps.
Yeah.
There's one thing that makes sense to it, but I'll get to it when we get there.
Well, and I was gonna say, but yeah, it was an interesting build up to what they were getting at was, it's the first contact. Okay, this a first contact going poorly. I don't know, doing this poorly. I don't think we've ever seen that in Star Trek. It's like,
well,
probably I guess with so many times, but
partially the fact that their first contact includes pre-hyperspace civilization.
Yeah,
they are willing to interact with civilizations that have not reached that level of ability, because technically we've reached that level of ability in the 50s.
Yes.
They had created in the 50s what these guys did in this these aliens did. So technically we could have been contacted a lot sooner, according to the first contact thing.
See,
I think this was more of a state of, man, I wish aliens would have contacted us a lot sooner. Maybe we should do that for the rest of the universe.
No, see, aliens saw us and they were like, no.
Oh, fuck no.
Well, there is, debating when to, because it's a decision that sort of, it doesn't have a clear answer. Just whatever position you pick, whether you pick the prime directive sort of thing, or the original Star Treks, you have to be warp capable, or you go with they just have to be able to communicate with the wider universe and be asking to see if anybody's out there. those two, whichever one you pick is arbitrary. I tend to think the warp capable is probably the better choice
Yeah, I agree.
because by that time you've probably got your stuff together. Probably.
Like,
um, but yeah, this shows why maybe they should reconsider what their first contact protocols are.
yeah.
It was also interesting to see all the because I was wondering what this episode was going to be like because we got our first contact thing, obviously going in blind. You know, when they go by the hospital and they see all the babies, getting all the C-sections, you know, it's I was like, okay, well, is there something wrong health wise with these people? Where are they going to go with an environmental thing where you know giving birth is
Yeah, that's
it's
what I thought too. Like at first was like being born full term causes psychopathy or something.
yeah, oh yeah, well it was first the just there's some reason why carrying to term was a problem in this society because of environmental problems or something, something actually health related, and then it was, okay, there's some stigma around actually being born, through natural means. There's
Especially when Kelly's like, "Oh, it's my birthday next
Yeah,
week."
and then when that hits, just
Uh,
boom, everything just it's like somebody threw a grenade in the room. It's like,
yeah.
oh wow, okay, that's where it's at.
Like, arrest him now. Good question. What is it with the trope of visiting aliens or whatever, where they don't know what a handshake is? Like every show does it.
Because it's
Yeah.
an easy way to show that yes, we may have handshakes, but
And
it's not even Earth-wise universal, and you're expecting it to be universal.
yeah,
No,
it's
just
not
not like
common on Earth. It is not even everybody on Earth does it.
Yeah, what I want to see
So why would
once,
everybody in the universe do it?
what I want to see once is a take on it's a Marx Brothers bit where somebody would stick out their hand for a handshake and who was it, Harpo or somebody would put out their knee and put their knee in the guy's hand or something like that. Um,
funny.
but yeah, just something that they have a completely different greeting, but it starts the same way, and so they just assume that that's what they were going for.
Or like they stick out their hands for a handshake and they get a high five.
Or a fist bump.
Yeah,
Or,
They
or
have
switch
one of
sides
them.
like
it's all in.
They have like those cheeky handshakes where you like high five, for front and back, and then like fist bump or something. You know our secret handshake?
Why, yes, I do.
How long have you been studying us?
For 50 years.
My biggest problem with this episode was the same problem you had with another episode. All of the top brass in the ship went down to the planet at once.
Yeah,
You want to at least have one of them on the ship.
yeah. Yep. Send the captain and security officer and the medical officer, and that's fine.
Leave Kelly or Bortus on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or those were the two that should have been left behind anyways.
Yeah, if they'd done something sensible, I'm not excusing the people's insanity with the astrological stuff, but
And,
if he
and
had been doing something sensible with his away team selection, things would have gone a lot smoother. Though they
I
would not have known about the Jellic thing, so
Jilly.
that could have become a problem for somebody else. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, but it would have, that would have been an interesting, an interesting second contact if somebody comes down and they find out their birthdays. Oh, he's a Jellic! Take him! What?
Or even like my first officer wishes she could be here. This would have made a great birthday present for her. It's like, what? You have Jiliak on your ship?
Yeah.
But I understand it from a plot perspective, but from a logistics perspective, Mercer made a big boo-boo bringing all his top brass at once.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, to be fair, they did seem like from outwardly to be a somewhat normal, society until you found out about the thing. you know. And he probably thought, okay, well, but yeah, it had to be done for that, but yeah, there was no reason to bring absolutely all the bridge crew, as many of the bridge crew as he could. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, leave at least your second command on the ship, so if something does happen, your second in command is fine.
Yeah. Especially with a first contact scenario of a race that hasn't even reached warp drive yet, or hyperspace drive, I think they use
The quantum,
quantum drive.
yeah,
Quantum fasty fast drive.
the go fast button.
They haven't gone
Let's go
to-
ridiculous speed.
Ludicrous speed. Oh no, they've gone to plaid.
Yeah, they don't go to plaid.
They should though, but then they might turn into lizards. So,
Yeah.
wow, that's a lot of references in one thing. They could go to plaid, but then they'd probably turn into lizards. Wow, that's a lot of references.
And the best part is we understand all of them
Yes.
because we're all nerds.
For the uninitiated, plaid. You need to watch Space for the going to plaid is Spaceballs. You need to watch that. And for the lizards, go watch Threshold. I think is the Star Trek Voyager episode.
Yeah.
Then those jokes will make sense.
Yes.
Just go watch both those completely. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just watch old Star Trek. Not old, but
Classic Star Trek up until Enterprise.
yeah.
And the movies, they had nothing to do with Star Trek, but the movies were good, aside from how they fucked up the Klingons.
But, yeah,
but don't watch Discovery.
Yeah, and yeah, I wouldn't hold too much of a grudge if you skipped over some of the temporal Cold War stuff. But anyway,
watch Enterprise seasons 1 and 4, basically.
it gets a little in the middle, but then 4, they it's like 1, okay, they're doing this kind of stuff you expect them to do for the most part, and then 4, they're doing the stuff that you hope they would do.
Yeah.
But they waited till the last season to do it. It's like, I would have loved to see more Pac-Led and all that sort of stuff. Like, actually, not Pac-Led, crud. I can't remember what they're called. They're founders of the Federation. They're sort of dwarf-like. It's gonna drive me nuts. I'll think about it here. Think of them here in a second. We never actually saw what Rigelians. We never saw Rigelians in the show at all, besides ships. Got lots of Andorian and Vulcan stuff though.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Every episode with Sharan was good. Come on.
Yeah, well, basically anytime that that actor, guy who played Shran, anytime he's involved, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Because he was also in, wasn't he? He was. Oh. Now I'm gonna have to look that up. He was also the.
Was he also
Vorta.
one of the from Deep Space Nine?
Jeffrey Combs, yes.
Yes.
He was also part. He also played Wayun. Wayun, yeah.
And another one. He played two characters in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, Brunt and Wayun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the FCA. Yeah, he played Brunt from the FCA. He played Wayun, and he played Shran. So anytime Jeffrey Combs, was it Jeremy?
Combs.
Jeffrey
Combs.
Combs. Yeah.
He's just a great actor, though. I mean, I've seen him in some other movies, and he's just awesome. So.
Yeah, just basically anytime he was involved, it was generally going to be a very entertaining episode. Anytime you see Jeffrey Combs in the thing, in the cast list for it, it's probably going to be an entertaining episode. Because he always played very interesting characters. But yeah, getting back to Orville.
I love how I was going a tangent.
Yes, it ends up in Star Trek a lot simply because
they make great parallels.
Yes, it would be interesting if they got Combs in for the Orville at some point.
That would be awesome.
But
fun fact: Jeffrey Combs was also the Rat King in Ninja Turtles, the 2012 series.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Okay, and basically, yeah, you have this lovely first contact. It's like, all right, this is the sort of stuff. This is what we signed up for. This is the sort of tagline to it. I saw a little trailer for it, but it's like, this is what we signed up for. It's like, yes, first contact, meeting new species, being the first ones. Which it would seem to me that I would have, like, I wouldn't necessarily send a normal captain to do that sort of work. I would specifically send diplomatic delegations. Like, people trained for this.
I think what it was they were the closest. They were the ones who picked it up, so they got dibs.
Yeah, oh, no, I'm not saying that, they weren't, they were probably the closest there, and they are an exploration vessel. But it seems to me, with something as delicate as first contact, they would have, if I was running the Union, it would have been, I would have gone, okay, we have a few Diplo teams sitting around at different points in the Union, and as soon as the first contact was made, it's like, all right, we're sending that Diplo is the closest diplomatic team. Send them to engage in first contact.
I mean, if I was running the Union and my teammates got kidnapped or whatever, I would have gone in guns blazing and saved them. Who cares about the rules?
Well, I mean, if you were running the Union, I'm pretty sure the entire Union would fall apart in a week. But you laugh because you know it's true.
I do.
Especially, and it wouldn't be helped by the fact that you would have, was it Chance with you at all times, and anybody who displeased you, you would smack it with him.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you're too pure.
Yeah, you're innocent. Stay that way.
Yes. um. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, there's some. It also has some interesting. Like, there's a lot of nice, very quick, but very sort of glimpsing of a bigger society. Like, we find out, like, the ones out of after Jelliax are considered, oh, these are the leaders of tomorrow. Everybody wants to be, wants them to be born, you know, at during this month, which it seems to me like there would be like a, you know, people would start, if it was this big a deal, like they would calculate back and go, all right, I know that at most the kid is going to show up, here. You know how long gestation lasts. Back calculate and be real careful around that time, if it's that big of a deal. Um, but then again, oopsies always happen, so it is what it is. But that's probably why they're wrapping up the C sections so quickly beforehand.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we did an oopsie and they're running a little late, so here you go. um, what else was there? And also it makes me wonder what the what each month is. We don't even know how many months they have. Like what they're.
Yeah, that's another like slight issue I had. Because of the variations in the celestial positioning and the length of time each month is to them, just because their birthday at that point was coincided with their Gilliac sign doesn't mean that they were born under that sign.
Well, I think here's what I'm going to say. I suspect, given how dedicated their satellite network is at measuring star positions and whatnot, and how core this is to their society, I'm going to say that they probably every year put out a sort of any sort of shift in the calendar is done. Like it may have been locked
Not what
down by what
I mean that, first of all, they travel through space, which alters their own temporal field. So their year is not the same as the alien. I forgot what the alien races is. Also, the fact that their years don't coincide, it is highly doubtful that they have the same 12-month system.
Yeah, and well, yeah, okay, you got that. Okay,
So
I thought you were going someplace else with
it's her birthday. At that point, maybe their year is different. So maybe her birthday next time it comes around will be in a different sign, because we have 12 months and they have 13 months or 10 months or whatever.
Well, also they had the tooth
Tooth thing.
scanning.
They didn't
Yeah,
do that. They didn't do that to Kelly.
yeah, they did. They did that to everybody.
No, they didn't do it
Yes,
to
they
Kelly.
did.
Up.
It just didn't show it.
Yeah, because I imagine they confirmed it. If they were going to throw somebody, first contact in They were going to confirm that they were Jeliac.
Because all it showed was them testing the other 3 to make sure they weren't Jiliac as well.
I imagine that, yeah, it may not have been shown, but I suspect that given how little time it would take and how much disruption it would cause to do that without good reason, they would be making sure that it was right. And I'm wondering, I didn't think about it at the time, but they didn't when he was handing the reports in about the rest of them, he gave out some names of them, but I'm wondering, did they ever tie them to? They didn't ever say this one's this, this one's this, this one's this, and it would what? Yeah,
They did not.
yeah. So it'd be interesting if they if it ended up like it accidentally works for like Mercer. Like it actually like leadership, like he was born in the time of leadership or whatever it was.
Wasanda.
Yeah, Wasanda. He was accidentally born in Wasanda. Like it just works out.
I find funny that the Wasanda is the top astrological sign because that makes me sound. It is like one letter away from Wakanda. Wakanda forever.
But yeah, it's an interesting, different, and the ethical sort of rules that must be followed in the Union must be a little more generous with the completely manipulating an entire civilization with for the better, obviously, but manipulating the internal structure of a pre-warp society with the solar sail. That's some stuff that'd get you court-martialed in the Federation.
Yeah.
Probably. Depends on how things were. What era you're in. I imagine maybe Kirk could maybe get away with it, but I doubt Picard could.
Yeah, this feels like it's somewhere between a Kirk and Picard type era.
Yeah. It's still a little cowboy, but it's getting towards... Go ahead.
Even though it's technically the 24th century or 2400s. So it's closer to Picard's era, but it has a feel of kind of a more Kirk style era.
Yeah, the political situation is an exploration situation is definitely it's somewhere between Kirk and Picard, and so it's not quite it's a little more cowboy than Picard. Picard was he had an established diplomacy to deal with. Like these are our firm ethical rules as to how to deal with first contact and doing this, while Kirk is back there just
cowboying it up,
kissing Technicolor women, punching new life and new civilizations.
Wonder how Picard would have reacted in the situation where that Kelly was in, where they were in a different time lock, so every time they visited it was like 300 years later. That episode kind of makes me wonder how Picard would have reacted to that shit.
I don't think that would have flown as well in that era. This isn't the era of we come in peace, shoot to kill.
It would be nice if just once it could be like a first contact Where does it all go to shit? Where they just have a good time, have some
Wouldn't be
drinks.
much of an episode though.
I
No.
know. Like, why does it always have to turn into battle or kidnapping or whatever?
In concentration camps.
Ugh.
But yeah, it was a very interesting. And the thing that they actually thought to go back and say, okay, why are the Gilliac, you know, despised as they are, is like, okay, well, it's a religious thing, and it's because of the star going out. You know, and so the restoration of the star in Gilliac would have been, that would have been, oh, that's change, which
Mhm.
in some ways is actually, if you get past the, manipulating another culture, the internal structure of another culture, it's a, uh, it's an interesting, very subtle and soft way of doing it, because from what we could tell, the prefect really didn't want to do the things, but he's like, he's like, okay, but Gilliacs are what Gilliacs are, and even if I wanted to, if I did that, they would tear down this building. It would tear through the walls at me. So maybe with this, he has the option of going, well, this means that the stars come back, so the era of the bad Gilliacs is over.
Although
And then,
it's funny, because it wasn't during the Gilliac sign that happened.
yeah, but yeah, well,
But
we
it's
should,
still within their, it's
yeah,
still within their constellation.
yeah. It's like, well, change. It means change. Maybe the Gilliacs are no longer cursed. The stars have changed their mind, and now the Gilliacs are needed, and we should reintegrate them into society and stop the camps. It's like, because they did release them from the camps, but
Yeah.
that probably gave him just enough. He may have wanted to do it anyway, and because he didn't have to release them from the camps with the star coming back, but he saw it as an opportunity to release them. It's like the stars come back in Gilliac, so that's obviously the stars don't lie, and we should try and listen to them. And as we see now, they've changed their mind on the Gilliacs. The Gilliacs are okay now, and so now they're back. But it was a very interesting sort of, and I guess the larger context of this is um, sort of poking at theocracies in general, because astrology, for the most part, you're not going to make anybody mad by doing your commentary on astrology. Oh, they run on astrology. It's like, that would, you're not going to make a lot of people angry. You're not going to offend anybody with, well, you're going to offend a few people, but for the most part, you're not going to offend anybody. But it may have been a larger sort of, subtle, not so subtle way of poking at theocracy and running governments on supernatural claims. Hello?
I mean, I'm a Cancer.
Me
On
too.
this stream?
I must be like really crabby or whatever.
I'm two-faced.
And to be fair, I mean, Bortus, her could have been. They were born under a different star sign.
Yeah, do you know the signs around Mocklin? I think not.
Exactly.
Or Mockless. Yes, Mockless is the planet. Mocklin are the people.
Although Kelly just might have been born on a spaceship, so who knows?
Yeah, there's no telling. We haven't gotten really a backstory on exactly. We know where they were living at the time, but I don't think we know precisely where they're from.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I can take a quick look.
I did like the fact that we got to see well, her name is tip of my tongue. Andrea Pilecki kicking ass again.
What?
I said I like the fact we got to see Andrea Pilecki kicking ass again.
Who's that?
Kelly.
Oh,
Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
She was in Agents of Shield.
Okay. I didn't watch that.
I gotta finish watching that.
She played Mockingbird.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Apparently, Mercer was born in Boxford, Massachusetts.
Oh, damn. And wow.
And then Kelly, we don't think we have any. We not have any information on that. But the other part of it is one important thing to this whole episode is, though it's not particularly important to the story at large, is we have a new Selayan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Although
she's
going to take some getting used to. I like her by and large. I mean, I like her personality. I like her. She's got that slight sass. She's a little more forward.
a little more sour.
Yeah, she's a little more forward and like world weary than than ours, but she's got moxie. I like it.
We went from sweet to sour. It's it should be interesting to see. She's a little more. She's like you said, world weary, time tested. She's dealt with this stuff before, and
I love the fact that it was a highly matriarchal society that has very little regard for males, and any male in command is just ignored. So I punched out the captain and took over so that we could get the stuff done that needed to be done.
I mean, admittedly, I would have liked to see just one more scene with the other guy.
Really?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't really like him, but just
really,
just to see him do like one more stupid thing.
No. More stupid thing.
Like maybe a fight to the death to see who would be the new security chief.
They aren't Klingons. Come on.
Hey, what can wish?
That's just redonkulous.
Yeah, but other than that, I think we've basically wound through just about everything I can think of for the episode. Can you think of anything? Any last thoughts on it?
I think.
I
got nothing.
I had something, but I forgot it, so it clearly isn't that important.
Drock?
Yep, I'm good.
All right.